Are you running a company? You've probably heard of EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Some CEOs swear by it, others aren't as convinced. And honestly, in working with dozens of CEOs and companies, some using EOS and others not, I've seen both sides of the debate. For some companies, EOS brings clarity, alignment, and execution. For others, it feels rigid, over-processed, and totally unnecessary. So, is EOS the secret weapon for scaling, or just another business framework that works for some but not for all? Or can you simply create your own systems and processes? I'm RJ, the CEO coach. I'm a 6-time venture and private equity-backed CEO. Over my career, I've been coached to great success, and now I help other CEOs unlock even higher levels of performance and growth. In the past year alone, I've worked with over 50 CEOs, and EOS comes up time and again. Some are already running their companies on EOS, others are evaluating if it's the right fit, and some are using pieces of it. And some have actually opted for different systems entirely. So in this video, let's break it down. What exactly is EOS? How does it work? And most importantly, is it the right operating system to help your company scale and succeed? Okay, what is EOS? EOS is not just another management fad. It's not about adding complexity or introducing more jargon into your leadership meetings. It's a practical, field-tested framework designed to help companies get what they want out of their businesses. EOS was developed by Gino Wickman, who built on ideas from business thinkers like Vern Harnish, the creator of Scaling Up framework, to create a simpler, more actionable operating system for entrepreneurs and leadership teams. Wickman introduced EOS to the world through his best-selling book, Traction, which laid out a step-by-step approach to help companies gain clarity, align their teams, and execute more consistently. Since then, EOS has become the go-to framework for thousands of small to medium-sized companies seeking to scale without losing control. At its core, EOS helps leadership teams clarify their vision, gain traction, and become healthier and more cohesive. It's about replacing chaos with clarity, about ensuring that every single person in your organization knows exactly where the company is going and what role they play in getting there. Rather than focusing on theoretical models or academic exercises, EOS zeroes in on what truly matters in a business. Through a combination of simple tools and a proven process, it helps leaders strengthen 6 components of any organization. When these components are functioning properly, everything runs more smoothly and growth becomes sustainable. Companies of all shapes and sizes have implemented EOS, but it's particularly popular among small to medium-sized businesses. So if you're a business between 2 million and 100 million in revenue and finding it harder to keep everything on track, EOS may be what you need. EOS is designed to be simple, but not simplistic. The beauty of EOS is that it removes unnecessary complexity and helps leaders focus on what truly drives results. Through quarterly rhythms, weekly meeting cadences, and a focus on clear metrics, EOS keeps organizations aligned and moving forward without overcomplicating the process. So what are these 6 components? Let's dive in deeper. The first one is vision. Everything starts with clarity. If you and your leadership team aren't 100% aligned on where the business is going, how can you expect your employees to be? EOS emphasizes the power of vision through a tool called the Vision Traction Organizer, or the VTO. This simple 2-page document helps you articulate your company's core values, your core focus, your 10-year target, marketing strategy, and the 3-year picture. It also helps you break down long-term goals into actionable short-term objectives. When your team is aligned around a clear vision, something powerful happens. People stop guessing and start working towards shared goals. Every decision becomes easier because everyone understands the bigger picture. That's the power of vision in EOS. Here's a case study. A regional HVAC company had grown rapidly but lost clarity on its direction. Using EOS, they developed a VTO and shared it across the company. Within months, departmental confusion decreased and retention improved as employees now understood how their daily work contributed to the company's vision. Next comes people. Great companies are built by great people. But EOS takes it a step further by focusing on the idea of right people, right seats. The right people are those who share your company's core values, they fit your culture, they make your organization stronger. The right seats are the roles that align with their skills, abilities, and passions. EOS offers a practical tool called the People Analyzer, which helps you assess every team member based on core values and their ability to get their job done. This allows leaders to make objective decisions about hiring, promoting, and coaching, or when necessary, making the tough calls to move people out. Here's another case study. An e-commerce startup found that certain team members, while talented, did not align with the company's core values. After using the People Analyzer, the founders made several difficult personnel changes, and the result? Improved culture, faster decision-making, and a more unified leadership team. The third component is data. Opinions and feelings may have their place, but EOS stresses the importance of managing through objective numbers. EOS introduces the scorecard, a simple yet powerful tool that tracks key metrics weekly. These might include leads generated, sales closed, customer retention rates, or any measurable activity that drives the company's results. By boiling the business down to 5 to 15 key numbers, EOS removes subjectivity from management. It creates total transparency. Everyone knows what success looks like and whether the team is hitting or missing the mark. Once a software as a service company struggled to meet its revenue goals despite significant effort. By introducing EOS and creating scorecards, the leadership team quickly identified weak lead generation as the core issue. They refocused their efforts, and within 90 days, new pipeline growth doubled. The fourth component is issues. Of course, every organization faces challenges. What EOS teaches is that the healthiest companies are those that are honest about their problems and tackle them head on. The issues list is a simple tool that encourages teams to capture problems as they arise. Then, during level 10 meetings, the team uses the IDS process, in other words, the Identity, Discuss, and Solve process, IDS, to work through each issue. This structured approach ensures that problems don't linger. EOS promotes a culture of healthy conflict and open dialogue. Teams get comfortable calling out challenges, collaborating on solutions, and holding each other accountable. One marketing agency found that client churn was higher than expected, so adding churn to their issues list brought it front and center. After IDS discussions, they identified that onboarding processes were inconsistent with clients. A new standardized onboarding process reduced churn by 40% within 6 months. Fifth is process. Without clear, documented processes, companies can't scale. EOS encourages organizations to identify their core processes, everything from hiring to customer service to invoicing, and then document them in a simple, clear way. The goal is not bureaucracy, but consistency. Documented processes reduce mistakes, create predictability, and importantly, allow new team members to get up to speed much faster. In one case, a logistics firm struggled with late deliveries and customer complaints. By mapping and documenting their order fulfillment process in EOS, they identified the bottlenecks and standardized handoffs. On-time delivery increased from 85% to 97% in the next quarter. And finally, the last component of EOS is traction. This is where vision meets execution. Through tools like Rocks, which are 90-day priorities, and Level 10 meeting agenda, EOS keeps teams focused and accountable. Everyone knows what they need to do, and progress is reviewed weekly. One digital agency was great at goal setting, but poor at follow-through. By adopting Rocks and Level 10 meetings, they transformed their execution rhythm. Quarterly objectives became non-negotiable, and revenue grew 25% year over year. So let's shift gears. How do you implement EOS? Most companies start by reading Traction, the foundational book that introduces EOS. Some hire a professional EOS implementer who guides them through the process. Others self-implement EOS using free resources provided by EOS worldwide. Implementation usually happens in phases. Leadership teams meet regularly to define their vision, roll out Rocks and scorecards, and cascade these tools throughout the company. While full adoption can take 12 to 24 months, the changes start immediately. It's not about instant transformation. EOS is about building lasting habits that become part of your company's DNA. Companies that stick with the process often describe EOS as the best decision we ever made. Here's perhaps the most important practical reality about EOS. Not every CEO adopts EOS the same way. Some embrace the entire framework, following every tool and process to the letter of the law. Others take a more selective approach, picking elements like rocks, scorecards, or level 10 meetings that best fit their company's culture and needs. For many, this a la carte method makes EOS more approachable and less burdensome, allowing them to get the benefits of structure and clarity without feeling locked into a rigid system. Now, before we get into the pros and cons of EOS, it's helpful to briefly look at a couple of other systems for context. I'm not going to do a deep dive, just a quick snapshot to give you something to compare EOS against as we go through this. If you're interested in a deeper breakdown of those other frameworks, please let me know in the comments below and we may cover them in a future video. Okay, let's first talk about scaling up. EOS shares similarities with other business frameworks like Scaling Up by Verne Harnish, but there are important differences. Scaling Up offers a broader strategic focus and is often used by companies aiming for rapid growth and market dominance. It includes extensive planning tools, a deeper focus on cash and financials, and a wider range of metrics and tactics. For many companies that are scaling aggressively or going global, Scaling Up is a robust toolkit. EOS, however, is often seen as a more practical and easier to implement, especially for founder-led and privately held businesses. Its simple, repeatable structure focuses more on alignment, accountability, and execution. Where Scaling Up can feel complex, EOS thrives on simplicity. At the end of the day, EOS and Scaling Up are pretty much speaking the same language, just with different accents. One is like British English and the other is like Australian English. Same core meanings, but each has its own jargon, quirks, and phrasing. I speak American English, so I get both, but if you're new to these systems, expect some subtle differences in how they talk about priorities, meetings, and execution. In fact, many of their terms describe the exact same ideas, just with different labels. Still, they're more alike than not, and both are designed to help companies run better. Next, let's talk about the 30-day CEO Playbook. The 30-day CEO Playbook is designed to give CEOs a rapid tactical mastery over their time, their priorities, and the team within just 1 month. It focuses on personal productivity, setting boundaries, creating leverage, and driving fast impact across the company. The 30-day CEO Playbook is less of a company operating system and more of an incredibly fast exercise to immediately increase revenue, reduce costs, and help you plan for your eventual exit. EOS, by contrast, is more about building organizational muscle over time. It focuses on aligning the leadership team, scaling decision-making, and creating rhythms that become part of the company culture. For many CEOs, these two systems actually work very well together. The 30-day CEO Playbook can create the personal leverage a CEO needs, while EOS creates organizational structure that ensures everyone else is aligned and accountable. So that's a quick look at Scaling Up and the 30-day CEO Playbook. Now, let's turn the spotlight back to EOS and dive into the big question. What are the pros and cons? And is it truly the right fit for your company? Okay, let's first talk about the pros. It's simple, practical, and proven. EOS works in the real world and produces real results. It strengthens leadership teams, improves alignment, and creates clear accountability. EOS also scales well and helps small companies think and operate like larger organizations without losing their agility. On the con side, EOS isn't for everybody. It requires a total leadership buy-in and a willingness to follow the system. For highly creative and fast pivoting environments, EOS can feel rigid. And for companies that aren't willing to address tough issues or embrace accountability, it will definitely fall flat. EOS works best when the leadership teams are committed, open, and ready to transform. So here's our conclusion. EOS is more than just a framework. It's a path to clarity, alignment, and sustainable growth. By focusing on the 6 components of vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction, EOS helps leaders regain control and create healthier, more effective organizations. That said, EOS isn't for everybody, so it's important that you find what works for you and your company. Lastly, if you're a CEO looking to scale faster and lead more effectively, I work with leaders running on EOS, scaling up, and of course the 30-day CEO Playbook, which supplements both operating systems. I offer one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching through the 30-day CEO Mastermind. Whatever framework you use, my focus is simple: help you unlock higher performance, drive clarity, and create real momentum in your business. If that sounds valuable, please check out the links below to learn more. If you found this breakdown valuable, please make sure to subscribe for more deep dives and business frameworks, CEO strategies, and scaling your company the smart way. Hit the like button and drop a comment below if you've implemented EOS or are considering it. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and now it's on you. Go make it happen.